Hi, you are here to see Lucas, the founder of Rival. Welcome, Lucas.
What's up?
Hey, Lucas. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Good. You look like you're in a beautiful place.
Yeah, in the backyard. It's pretty nice out here.
Wait, you guys live in East Bay, right?
No, we're in LA right now.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, where are you?
Yo, this is New Hampshire. You can see maybe a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can see I'm in like a foresty area. It's nice. It's getting a little hot though.
Yeah, same here. This last week it was like over 100 degrees.
What?
Yeah. It's pretty rough.
Whew. Cool. Nice. You guys just chilling in the backyard?
Yeah, just having like late breakfast.
Good. I'm gonna do some coding today. Is that a matcha?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I've never tried it
Really?
because I'm not very good with caffeine.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. It can hit pretty hard. Like more than coffee sometimes for me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. So, anyways, yeah, give a little intro about what you're doing with Rival and what it is that you want to work on together.
So Rival is a robotics competition. So teams design, build, and program robots to compete in a game. The first season's game is basically like Rocket League. So there's 4 robots on a field playing soccer. And what I'm trying to figure out how to do is manage the tournament structure with software somehow.
Yeah.
So the teams are going to show up to the event, and I need to run matches through like a tournament system. So there's usually like a qualification seeding round where you kind of randomly generate matches, and then teams play through some number of matches. And then there's like a ranking system.
Okay. Each team gets to play the same number of matches, or teams that do better get to play longer?
No, they usually play the same number of matches.
Okay.
And an important thing here is that these are 2v2 matches. So that's like the main constraint that I've found with all the other existing like bracket generation stuff is they only account for like 1v1 matches.
Yeah.
Like Challenge has a lot of these features, but you'd have to like go in manually and change the name of each team to include both teams, so it's kind of janky.
Okay. You're using a 1v1 system to make 2v2 work.
Right, exactly.
But those 2 teams stay together throughout the whole tournament? No.
So in the qualification matches, or the seeding round, teams are randomly selected for matches. So teams play, let's say like they have 10 qualification matches. In those 10 matches, they get a randomly assigned alliance and 2 randomly assigned opponents.
Right.
And
otherwise,
then
you have like a really good team with a really bad team, then you don't know.
Right. So the more matches that teams play, the better the ranking system works. Because there's some luck involved in you could have like a pretty bad team that gets a lucky draw and only has good alliance partners, or vice versa. And then the ranking system is usually based on like a point system. So you get a certain number of points for winning a match.
Yeah.
It's like a win-loss tie is usually the first ranking basis. And then there's like a tie-breaking point system where you get like a common one would be you get your opponent's score as like a ranking point to
Okay.
to approximate like match difficulty. The assumption being that if your opponent scores more, then it was a hard match.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the seeding round, you'll have a ranking of teams, and then there's like a draft where the top 8 teams will select their alliance partner that they want to bring with them to the elimination rounds. And then from that point on, they have the same alliance partner for the rest of the event. And then it goes into usually an elimination bracket, either like a single or a double elimination.
Wait, so there's like these different phases. You start with seeding,
Yeah,
and then you go on to what's the next one?
elimination.
Elimination. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
That's it.
Okay. And
Well, I guess there's like sometimes the final match will have a different structure than the elimination bracket. You might do more matches for finals, since it's like you could do maybe single elimination until you get to finals, but then you play like a best of 5 or something. Just depends on how you want to structure it. But
does one team win or do 2 teams win?
2 teams win.
Always. Okay.
Yeah, it's an alliance of 2. Yeah.
Okay. So one alliance wins. The elimination round is of alliances that don't change.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And in the seeding round, they're randomly assigned?
Yeah. Usually, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, this is definitely gonna be like a project. But I think what we can kind of do is we can like I didn't follow everything exactly you just said, but I think I got the big picture, generally what you have to do. I think we can just sort of look at some of the different ways you could build this app, and then sort of estimate how much work it's going to be. I'm pretty optimistic that taking an open source project, like the thing that you want to modify, is not very crazy, right? Like it's a pretty simple set of rules, right? So possibly we could take like some open source app and then modify it. That's just a thought.
Yeah.
If not, then the other way would be to build one from scratch, which I don't think is terribly complex. In that case, you would just need, like, the main thing that you need is to have, you want to have like user sign in and authentication, like any application, and then you want to have what, like, they need to be able to put in information about their team. They need to be able to view the brackets, and you need to have someone who can enter the winners and losers, right?
Yeah. Would it be helpful to show you how the educational competitions handle it?
Yeah. Do you have something that you can share?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do that. Cool.
Okay, so this is for the high school, one of the high school competitions.
Uh-huh.
And this is not built by, so the organization is called First.
Yeah.
And this was built, I believe, as a community project because First didn't have something like this. First has its own like tournament manager software that the events run. And they have like, let's see. Yeah, so they have something like this where at an event they can generate these graphics on the fly where they can like put in team numbers and it will populate the data into this tournament manager system. But they don't actually like. I think they push the results to some sort of database that this website pulls from. And then this website handles like all of the like publishing all of the results in a like viewable format. So if
Yeah,
you go to it,
I should have asked an important question at the beginning, which is the user who's the intended user for this? Is it the competition teams or the organizer or both?
for now, it's just me, the organizer, to
Oh,
yeah. I think eventually I will need some sort of team registration system
yeah.
and like a way for teams to manage their profiles and all of that stuff. But for right now, I basically just need to generate the brackets, like do the random assignment of teams, like track the ranking of teams throughout the event, and just like update this results database, I guess.
Yeah.
And then use that data to like generate the graphics on the fly that I can use in the stream.
Oh, okay. And so this stream graphic, but you mean it's that bar at the bottom, right? That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then you'll see like at the end of the match, they'll put up like results, like scores.
Oh, interesting. So you would have a computer open and you'd be putting in like points, and then that's going to generate this graphic at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And then, well, so there's a few things that this tournament management system has. Vex, there's a different competition called Vex that has one as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so they have something similar. And then they'll also put up like in between matches, they'll put up the full bracket so that you can see where teams like where you are in the bracket and who won in each stage. And then during qualification matches, they'll also put up like the rankings. So in between matches, they'll show like a leaderboard basically.
Okay. So I actually don't know how to do a live stream where you have like a graphic that's changing automatically. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, I looked into it. There seems to be other services. Like there's this one called Singular
Uh-huh.
that lets you do it. And you can pull from like an Excel spreadsheet, I think, with this one. But even if I need to just manually put in all of the data for now into the graphics, that's fine. I kind of just need the software to do all of the complicated bits of
But so is that graphic going to be changing? Like it's going to be changing every time there's a point, right?
yeah, like some of the graphics will need to change. Like if you probably you have a score or like a
Yeah.
scoreboard,
Yeah.
and then you have like which teams are playing in the match, and then at the end of the match you have some like results breakdown.
Right. So like I'm just wondering like how do we integrate how to make a software that integrates with the stream? Like does it just output like a JPEG image and then that gets added into the stream?
I don't know how you would do it if you built it from scratch, but Singular has this feature where you can like you create a like a PNG file, and then you can add certain fields. You can add like a text field to it that that pulls from an Excel spreadsheet, which will
Oh,
give you like dynamic graphics, I guess.
And so the Excel spreadsheet can change during the match, and that would update.
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, I haven't messed around with this too much. I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how people do live graphics in streams.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that is something that I wonder if Build Space has ever done something that needed that. I've never done anything that complicated with a live stream. So I think we can. So there's kind of two things. Like one is the generating the brackets, and the other is generating these sort of accessory images, right?
Yeah, yeah. One other option which I did use at some point was Challenge has a feature where you can embed they give you an embed link,
Yeah.
and then I just put that into OBS and made it just you put the embed link as like an input, and
Yeah.
then you can toggle the overlay on and off.
Oh yeah.
So that would work really well. It's just like, unfortunately, Challenge doesn't support 2v2 gameplay.
So the embed link is just like it's a little mini dashboard, and then that can be overlaid.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, because in StreamYard, I don't think. Oops. I love StreamYard, but I'm not really sure that it can do anything that complicated. OBS would work great if you're using a PC, which I think you probably are, right? Or
No, I'm on Mac.
that's probably why the OBS didn't work very well last time.
Yeah, it was pretty crap.
So Josh says it works well if you have a PC. He didn't tell me that the first time I used it, and yeah, Bonnie was texting me like, "Hey, like your stream is just crashed and you're still talking, but you've frozen." So
yeah, that's exactly what happened to me.
So that's why I use StreamYard, because it doesn't have it's completely platform independent. However, it doesn't have this like ability to take what OBS does is you can take part of a window, you can crop it, and then you can just like drag that cropped section of your window into anywhere on the stream. It doesn't do that as far as I know. It's really just you can share one aspect, you can share one screen at a time, and that's all. So maybe with OBS and a PC, then we could embed part of a web interface that would change, right?
Yeah, that could work.
Okay. Yeah, I like that better than the Excel thing. Okay. But for now, what's more important? Those graphics or just getting the brackets?
Just getting the brackets. Like even if I'm not able to do like dynamic graphics or any of that stuff during the stream, I kind of still need the software to just run the tournament efficiently and keep track of everything.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just going to be doing it all manually with like pen and paper probably.
What's the closest? Okay, you said you can do it manually with pen and paper, and then there's also one system that like has where you can hack around with it and get something, right? If you name each team as like two teams, you were saying something.
Oh yeah. So that's Challenge. You can kind of just input each team, each two teams as one team, but then you have to every time you play a new match, you have to go in and manually change the names of all the teams to update, which is not really feasible, I think.
But I thought that these were like, but that's in the alliance round, right? In the elimination of alliances, right?
Yeah, so Challenge could work okay for the elimination portion.
Right.
But for the qualification portion,
okay,
it's not going to work really.
Right, because the elimination portion, you really have one alliance win, so it's fine.
Yeah. And the alliances don't change, so you can kind of hack it, but
yeah. And the qualification portion, explain how many rounds does that have, and when are the teams matched together?
It has as many rounds as you want. Like the tournament like for these other competitions, the World Championships is a 3-day event, and they play matches over the course of the 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's like you have like 10 qualification rounds. The local tournaments are just a 1-day thing, so you usually have like no more than 5. But their software basically allows you to put in like number of teams participating, number of qualification matches you want to have for each team, and then you can randomly generate, and it'll output like a match list.
Right. Okay. And by the way, I hid your screen, so you can.
Oh, okay, great.
You can look at me. So the this qualification round, does the brackets change? I know I asked this before, but just I forgot. Does the brackets change every game, or is it fixed for all of the round?
What do you mean by bracket?
Does so let's say you have five rounds.
Hmm.
Do you need to calculate the brackets again after each round?
No.
No. So it's like a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah, you generate a match list at the beginning of the event, and then you just play through all of those matches, and the rankings update as you play through.
Yeah, actually, so you wouldn't really call that brackets, I guess. That's just a match list, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So our first task, which it seems like you said there isn't really a good system to do this, is to make a program which generates the match list.
Yeah, I think so.
There's nothing really that does that well for you right now.
No, I mean, it's not incredibly complicated.
Yeah.
But no, there's nothing that I'm aware of where you can just put in n number of participants in a 2v2 format, and it'll output a match list.
Okay, so right now you would do that by hand, or?
Yeah, probably.
I'm wondering if I'm actually wondering, because you mentioned Excel. I'm actually kind of wondering if Excel might be good for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you probably could.
Because we can make an app to do anything, but if it can be done in Excel in an hour, that could be a way to just get started. So okay, let's walk me through how the algorithm would look. We don't need this. We don't need. It's just a for you right now. So we would input list each team, right? And what information about the teams? Just the name.
Just their name, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, the number of teams will be obvious from the list of teams. But so you just have how many teams, the name of each team, and then what we need to come up with is just a list where it's so let's say your teams are A, B, C, D, E. You want to come up with a list of matches, right?
Yeah.
It's so you do A versus B first.
Well, it'd be like.
Oh no, that's
right. A and B versus C and D.
Is this realistic though to have 5 teams?
Right now I have 6. So
okay.
Yeah.
We could do 6. Okay, so A plus B versus C plus D. And then what would be next?
Well, you would the randomized part is kind of important because you don't want one team to get a bad draw. Right. Yeah.
So you want to be able to press the button as just in a complete random. Okay, so let's do it in a more random fashion then.
I guess you could just generate every combination and then randomly pick from that list n number of times, right?
We could, yeah. You mean like you mean generate every possible match list?
Generate every possible combination of teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, that works for a small number. If you have like, 50 teams, that could get kind of crazy, but.
So, or you could just say, let's just say, okay, I'll pick a team at random, D versus B, D plus B versus F plus E. That's pretty random. That's my brain can do for random right now. And then we would, after that, you've had 4 teams have gotten to play. So you want the remaining 2 teams to get to play next, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So that's important. So you have A plus C, or no. So it could go either way. The A and C could be together or they could be separate.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just say A plus D versus C. But what you don't want to have is to leave C out of this round, right?
Yeah. So
That's-
at the end of the day, you want each team to have the same number of matches. So it doesn't matter. You also kind of want them to be somewhat evenly spaced. Like, you don't want one team to play 5 times in a row and then have no matches the rest of the day.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, cool. It's kind of a messy algorithm, like, to think about, but it's super doable though. And you want each of these. Let's see if we can calculate based off the number of teams how many matches we're gonna have. Let's do that first. Is there some equation for that, right? If you just had 4 teams, let's say you just had 4 teams, how many matches would we need for those? Would it be 2 matches or 4 matches?
I mean, to get how many matches does each team play, I guess, is the question.
So that's another input to the formula. How many?
Yeah.
Okay. How many matches per team might also be. So if it's like 1, then it would just be you just have. Well, that doesn't really make sense. Then you'd have 2 winners, right?
Yeah, if it were just 1 match per team, then you would just play 1 match if there's 4 teams, right?
Right. So one match. If you have 2 matches per team, then that's also going to be 2 matches because there's only 4, so everyone plays every match. So if it gets more complex and you have 5 teams, that's where it gets interesting. So if you have 1 match per team, then you need to have 2 matches, right? Total, right? I know this is simple math, but it's like
yeah, it's confusing.
It's confusing, right? Yeah.
I actually think that it's with 5 teams, it's impossible to have 1 match per team because some team is going to have to play twice. So you need to increase the number of matches per team if you want everyone to play the same number.
Oh, so would you do that?
Probably, yeah.
So you want everyone. Okay, so everyone should play same number of matches to make it fair. Okay. So this is that's NA. So if you want to, can we have 5 teams and everyone plays 2 matches? That seems like it's possible, right?
Seems like it, yeah. I don't really have anything to back that up, but
well, we can back it up. So you have A plus B versus. This is how something new is invented. So A plus B, and then you have after that it might be the randomness. Actually, we'll add that in after. Then you have B plus C versus D plus E. So now, wait, actually though, so now C's played twice, D's played twice, B's played twice, but A and E have only played
yeah.
once. So I'm not sure. Then you'd have, actually, it's not possible that everyone plays 2 matches. You'd have to have more. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think you'd have to have 5 rounds actually, right? Because you're basically doing like a round robin.
Yeah. So you'd have 5 rounds. Okay. So 5 teams goes to 5 rounds, and each team plays 4 times. Because each round you're leaving out 1 team.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Interesting. And basically, you could do that. You could also do 5 teams, 10 rounds. Each team plays 8 times. But everyone would have to play 4 or 8 times, I believe. Tell me if I'm saying something that sounds wrong.
No, to get the same number of matches per team, I think so. Yeah, I think it has to be a multiple of 4.
Okay. So we need to maybe generalize even further, because we would also have a situation that works. So this works really well if we have 5 teams. But then if we have 6 teams, then in each round we're leaving out 2 teams.
Right.
So you do A plus B versus C plus D. And then we could do, I know you'd make it more random, but you do C plus D versus E plus F. This might work better. And then you could just have, I know it would be more random, but like here everyone gets to play twice, right?
Yeah.
So 6 teams, 3 rounds, each team plays 2 times. And then you could, of course, do 6 rounds and each team plays 4 times. And these could be scrambled, basically. You could scramble all the positions of these and it would still be fine. So, okay. And then I believe there should be some patterns start to emerge soon. But maybe when we do 7 teams, because you want it to work for 7 teams too, right?
Yeah, it should, in theory, work for any number of teams more than 4.
This is exactly the point where I put in everything into ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT gives something that looks right, but it also messes it actually gives like an incorrect answer. So because this is actually kind of like a logic problem. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, so that's 7 teams. Seven teams. Okay, A plus B versus C plus D, and then each round you have to leave out 3 teams. So that means that you'd have to. This is interesting. So here we left out. Each time we left out 2 teams, and here each time we left out one team, 2 teams, with 7 teams. A plus B versus C plus D, and then I'll just do E plus F. I feel like this is gonna be more again because you have that odd aspect of it. When it's an odd number, when it's an odd number, then you need to do more rounds. E plus F versus G. B, C.
Yeah, I think with an odd number, with an even number, you have like pairs of 2 that you can swap in effectively each round, but with an odd number, you always have one like hanging team that needs to get like swapped in across rounds to get to an even number. I don't know if that made any sense, but
I kind of get what you're saying.
yeah.
I think if we can get this 7-team example, then it would be clear. So, because here I think if we have an even number always, then we go by this 6-team example, and we would go from 6 to 8. Then if we go from 6 to 8, could you just add one more round? If each team is playing 2 times, I have to actually do it. I have to actually do it for each case, actually. So A plus B versus C plus D. E plus F versus G plus A. And now 7 teams, everyone has to play. You have B plus B's only played once, C's only played once. Then D has only played once, and E has only played once. So now everyone has played twice, except for F and G. So this again becomes, so we get F plus G versus. Is it possible? No, it has to be possible, right? F plus G versus. So if we have 7 teams, what we know, we can always do it in we know we can always do it in 7 rounds, right? Because if we had 7 rounds, we just do these 4, then these 4,
Yeah.
then these 4. So that's always going to work, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then that would mean everyone gets to play. So if you had 7 teams and 7 rounds, then everyone would be playing 7 minus 4. Or everyone would be playing 4 times, right? I think. 1, 2, just 1, 2. Yeah, I think everyone plays 4 times. Because each time, because like A would be here.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
So the question is like, is it possible to do fewer rounds with 7 teams? With 5 teams, we couldn't do fewer than 5 rounds. So I'm wondering if there's a pattern where if you like have an odd number of teams, you have to have at least the same number of rounds as teams.
Oh,
What do you
maybe an interesting something interesting about that is it might not be possible to have an odd number of teams because when you do the alliance selection, every team needs a partner.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Because then a team would have to play by itself later.
On the one hand, I'm thinking, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe we can do that way instead. But then on the other hand, I'm thinking like, but then what if you have an odd number of teams, Lucas? What are you gonna do?
Wait. No, it only matters if you have an odd number of teams less than the total number of teams that go to elimination matches, because not everybody goes to eliminations. You can get like if you have a bracket of 8 alliances, so 16 teams total. If you have more than 16 teams, it doesn't matter if it's odd or even. The teams that you just don't make the cut. But if you have less than 16 teams, then you can't play with an odd number.
So yeah, I guess what I'm wondering is like, we can always come back this later. Like we can ask someone who's really good with logic puzzles. Just like, if you have 15 teams, then do you have to have 15 rounds?
Right.
Like, or is there a way to simplify that? But I think we could. I think we could start by making the algorithm for just the even number of teams. So some of these things are really clear once you let it sit for a while.
Yeah.
So I think the even number, it seems more straightforward to me, because like with 6 teams, you have 3 rounds. Each team plays 2 times. Okay, and if we had so it was 3 rounds, everyone plays 2 times. If we bump that up to 8, then you have A plus B. Actually, you could just do 2 rounds, everyone plays once, right?
Yeah.
Is that a feasible? That's a feasible solution, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, you could increase that. You could by any multiple. And then if we had 10 teams, then it gets more complicated again. So then you'd have. It seems more similar to the 6. Okay. If you have, if the number of teams is a multiple of 4, of 4, then you can just play n divided by 4 rounds where each team plays once, right? I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so there's a pattern. And then I think there should be something similar for if you have 4 teams, yeah, then you play 1 round or every it's once. But then if it's a multiple of 2, then I would just take a guess, and then you could say if it's a multiple of 2, then you can play n divided by, because I'm looking at this 6 example, n divided by where each team plays twice. Now, I just saw that pattern. I haven't proven it to myself, but it seems possible. Man, this is a lot of thinking.
Yeah, it's actually more complicated than it seemed at first, because it also gets more. It gets even more complicated once you start thinking about. You want like pairings of teams to be randomly distributed. Also, you don't want the same 2 teams to play with each other like multiple times. So there's like a bunch of stuff. I think the simplest thing first is to just get a generation of a match list and then figure out how to randomize it and make it fair. But yeah, there's a lot of things to consider.
Yeah, no, that's super interesting. So, I think what I'm going to do, if you agree, is I'm going to use ChatGPT and see if we can actually just generate a Python script that does this. So we'll see if it can do it. It'd be a really interesting test. So like, given a list of n teams, so I say teams equals A, B, C, which can be any number of teams. Come up with a list of matches where 2 teams play 2 other teams. So for each team must play the same amount of times as each other team. Also use the minimum number of matches that meets this requirement. For example, for 3 teams, A plus B. Well, actually, that's not possible. So, wonder it will do better with. I wonder if we give it the 4 team. Well, actually, let's just see if it does it without an example. create a round robin schedule. So for each round, we create matches such that every team. Wonder if it.
Yeah, the thing with a round robin is that in a round robin, usually every team has to play every other team.
Yeah, but that's not. Each pair consists of 2 teams. Combine. Do you think it misunderstood? Just that every team. Because this actually doesn't make sense. Oh, actually, I'm not sure. We could try it.
Well, that's not really a description of a round robin. Like it says play round robin, but then it says something kind of unrelated.
So, yeah, that's. I'm afraid this might be a task that can only be solved by. I'm very afraid this might only be a task that can be solved only by a human brain. This might be the Turing test. So, okay. It just says it's unable to do it. It's not possible, but we've already proven that it's possible, right? Yeah. F max matches. Sure. Yeah, no, it's really. I'm not looking too deeply into this code, but it really has not solved the problem. It's doing just some basic combinatorics. Okay. I think we were really close. I think we were really close with this. So I would say. Do you want to? Actually, we have a bit of time. We have a bit of time. I think I might try just prompting a little bit better. Also,
Yeah, so what I was saying about the round robin also
yeah,
is the solution will effectively be a round robin with a small number of teams because everybody plays every other team just by default. Once you get enough teams, let's say you have 100 teams, like
yeah,
you have 100 teams and each team only has 4 matches. Not every team is going to play every other team. So it's not, if you had if it were a round robin with 100 matches, you'd have some crazy number of matches
right.
to meet a round robin.
And a round robin literally just means it's if you have 100 teams, it's 100 choose 4, right? Like over
Yeah.
like for every 4 in that 100. Okay. So then you'd have okay, just 100 possible 100 teams, 100 rounds. Would that be a round robin?
Would it be 100 minus 4 rounds?
Round robin. So if you have 4 teams. So if you had 4 teams, then you'd have 1 round, right?
Yeah.
So a round robin looks like this. And so have like, I'm not sure if that's helpful at all. The round robin means Nah, this is. Let me just look up definition. Okay, each competitor plays in turn against every other. So what does that mean in a 2v2? Doubles? Four participants. I don't want to date, okay? Okay, I wonder if this is even helpful. One court.
Yeah, Challenge has a round robin generator also that we could try to use, but I think the thing looks like the thing you're using is pretty similar.
Similar. So I said 4 teams in 2 rounds, but it looks like, is it ensuring that they all? Okay, well that makes sense what we've just done.
Well, in that case, player 3 and 4 never played each other. Player 1 and 2 did. I guess it's not, with 2 rounds, it's not possible that everybody plays each other.
Right. So that would be a round robin where everyone plays against everyone else, or everyone plays with everyone else, or both.
Well, with 1v1 it's one and the same.
Yeah.
But with 2v2 it's kind of a little more complicated.
Yeah. So here, like, if I move that to 5 participants and 2 rounds, then like it's really messed up.
Oh, this is doubles. Okay, cool. Actually,
It's doubles, but it's not doing the calculation that, like, it's not ensuring what we want to ensure, right? Well, sort of. Like, because we need to still figure out how many rounds. So now it's doing 1 plays. So 1 has played twice. 4 has only played once. And 5 has played 3 times.
Well, 4 plays again.
4 has played twice. 5 has played 3 times. 2 is...
Yeah.
3 has played twice. Okay, so it is distributing them. But we calculated if you had 5 participants, you basically needed 5 rounds to do it correctly, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And the question was, okay, if you had 7, then you could do 7 rounds. You probably would need 7 rounds, but I'm not certain about that. This is 7. And
I mean, maybe the solution is just understand the rules of how many rounds are needed to get the result that you want, and then just use this calculator, and then
yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. And this calculator will be pretty easy to make, but yeah, the number of rounds is really the tricky thing. I guess I'm feeling like, so we did 7 teams and 7 rounds. Question is, if we would reduce the number of rounds, like, so just say to 5, would this even work? But I feel like it wouldn't. You know, that's my gut feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So if you had 21 teams, you'd have to have 21 rounds.
If everybody plays each other. But that isn't actually a rule that I need. Not everybody has to play each other. They just need the same number. They need to have played the same number of matches and have had a random distribution of partners and opponents.
But I'm wondering about this requirement of everyone needing to play the same number of matches.
Yeah.
So in order to satisfy that, because we have 7 teams playing 7 rounds here, or even if we had like 5 teams playing 5 rounds, there's no way to decrease the number of, because if we decrease the number of rounds to 3, with 5 participants, 5 has now played 3 times, whereas the others have played twice, right?
Yeah.
So you need 5 rounds for 5 teams to make them all play the same number of times. And so my brain is saying that maybe for any odd number of teams, right? Maybe if you have, that's just my hypothesis, but I could be completely wrong, right? You have to play, then it would be, so you have 5 teams, then you're playing 5 rounds, where each team plays, so we had 7 teams, we had where everyone plays 4 times. Is that right? Maybe. This is my guess. But I'm like, it could be wrong. Maybe we can check this. This is like a great exam question for someone.
Yeah. This would be a tough one.
But if we this is, I guess I'm really curious about the last one, but I feel that it could be true, because you said that the minimum, that it gets capped after 16, right? Right, you don't have 16 go to elimination, right?
Yeah, in this case, yeah.
So yeah, it would just be like an awkward situation if you had 15 teams and you want all of the 15 teams to play the same number of matches. Do they have to play 15? Do you have to have 15 rounds? Is there any way to make that simpler? But I think 15 teams. I think that might be it. 15. Try this on here. So we have 15 participants. Ten rounds. Player 1. It's 3 times. 12 is 3 times. 13. 14, 15. Player 1. Oh, interesting. Do you see what I just made? Oh, player 6 only played once? That's not right. So I just made this I just did like 15 teams with 10 rounds,
Yeah.
and like most of them play 3 times, but like yeah, one of them just played once. One of them played twice.
Yeah.
That's kind of confirming my hypothesis. So, but yeah, I don't know what you do in that case, but how likely is it that you have 15 teams, right? Or 13 teams? In that case, you just get someone
Yeah, you try to fill a spot.
you try and fill a spot, otherwise it's just going to be awkward.
I'm looking through the past events
Yeah.
on this website called Robot Events, which is where all of the results get posted from the Vex robotics competition.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to find one yet that has an odd number of teams, which might confirm that as well. They all seem to have even numbers, even when there's large numbers.
If you got 99 teams, you're going to have 99 rounds.
Well, this one, let's see. Here, I'll show you what one of these looks like.
Uh-huh.
Oh wait, I was still presenting.
Yeah, you stopped it.
Oh. So this is the World Championships, and there's like, I don't know, 8 different divisions or something, and each division has 82 teams.
Yeah.
And each team plays 10 matches.
Uh-huh.
And this is the match list. So there was 205 qualification matches.
Uh-huh.
But not everybody. Yeah, like in this case, not every team plays every other team, not even close.
But how many teams?
I actually don't know if this changes much if it's 81 teams versus 82 teams, because there's so many teams. If there were one less team here, how would that affect it? I guess it's hard to think of these big numbers.
Well, for our system that would change a lot, right? For the minimum number of rounds that you need to have every team play the same amount of matches. But yeah, I would say that we could, based off of this, what we came up with today, we could go ahead and make like a simple script. We could make like a simple script to generate the pairings. That'd be fine. I mean, it'd be the same as this bracket thing, but I don't entirely trust this online tool. But yeah, but we could use that one, or we could make our own.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. I feel like no one watching is gonna be like finding this interesting, but I find it interesting.
I find it interesting.
Good. One person just just started watching. You know, occasionally someone starts watching and then they watch for like. See, random person says, "Way to go!" So you know, people find it interesting, and then left.
Nice. I mean, I was about to just give up on this whole thing, but this one person just gave me the motivation to keep going. So
Okay, good. What's your timeline for this?
the event is on August 3rd, so sometime before then.
Okay, maybe we can do this in 1 week from now. We can do this again.
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds great. Cool. I'm going to see a cowboy movie, I think.
Nice. What's it called?
It's called... The movie is called Horizon, an American Saga.
I have not heard of it.
It's 3 hours long, so I'm kind of dreading that part of it. But, oh well.
Well, it's got 48% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is that good?
That's really good.
Oh.
No, it's not very good, but Rotten Tomatoes also is like the critic scores are always really low, and then the fan scores are always much higher, which means that like even movies that people like, the critics shit on. So I don't know, it's probably not that accurate.
So
It has
40% is pretty good.
It has a decent rating on IMDb.
Yeah, that's probably more accurate.
Do you bring your own snacks to the theater, James?
When I was a teenager, I would just bring a hoodie and I would fill it with everything that I wanted. These days, I'm more of a boring person, and sometimes I just don't even eat snacks in the theater. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm more healthy. I should, yeah. What is like a good healthy snack you can? Is there a good healthy snack you can eat while watching a movie? I don't think so.
Edamame beans.
Oh, that's good. My friend's gonna buy popcorn for me, so
Nice.
yeah, I get
Okay.
you.
Thanks so much for helping me step through this and enjoy your movie.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
All right.
Ground nut. I wonder if that's they're talking about snacks still.
Oh. Groundnut. Groundnut is apparently another word for maybe peanut. I'm not sure. Yeah. So, or it's similar to a peanut. I have never. Oh, it's like these mini peanuts. Oh, it looks delicious. Hey, thanks, random person. I'm gonna go get some ground nuts and I'm gonna go see a movie.
Nice. Enjoy.
All right. Bye.